Excuse my language. And then they took my wife.
This man who wished not to be identified says his wife is from Venezuela and has lived in the United States for a few years. She was one of 3 people taken from this home. I'm told the 2 others were men who worked in construction. You see them here. This video, only a minute and 52 seconds long, we do not see his wife being removed from the home. But this is a picture of her that he keeps in his wallet. Her name is Vianis Ramirez.
I don't want to be mean, right? I don't want to be mean. I think that this is sad what's happening to this dude.
Yeah.
But this it makes sense that he's a Trump supporter, a Latino for Trump. He's an idiot. He's stupid. And I'm not saying that as in, oh, he's stupid because he was voting for Trump or whatever. I'm saying he's stupid because he's on national television with his face not blanked out, using his real voice, and then giving out his last name. But in the first 2 seconds of the clip, it was like, he doesn't want to be identified. What? What? That's a lot of information for someone who doesn't want to be identified, dog.
And we're talking about our cultural spaces. I think this ties in beautifully. Okay. We're talking about our cultural spaces, our heritage, our foods, even our political leanings. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Something that happened over these last couple of years was that Latinos for Trump became a thing. It feels like a backstabbing Benedict Arnold situation where you're just like, what are you people smoking? Like, what is up with that? What led you to this crisis of conscience and this crisis of culture? I like to call it the double C's.
Ooh, this crisis of culture. I like that. Hey,
that's right. So I have, I have my thoughts on all that stuff, but what's been happening is that the old saying, the leopards didn't know that leopards would eat my face.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what's happening to Latinos for Trump, because so many of these Latinos really thought that this dude's messaging and the party's messaging was totally on their side, trying to whitewash their own misgivings or whatever comes with that that psychological thing of like wanting to be included and all that kind of stuff. And so,
you want a little diversity, equity, and inclusion, maybe is that what it is?
That's what that must be what it is.
Okay.
And well, they bit off a little more off the taco than they can chew. Okay, because what ended up happening?
You are on the roll today.
And what ended up happening is that people who were these super MAGA guys are getting their family deported. Shocker, 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 right? Are we shocked? We aren't, but they sure as hell are. I'm going to read this off the top. This is a Florida man who voted for Trump wants to work something out with Donald Trump after ICE snatched up his wife and deported her back to Venezuela. And so let me play the video.
Excuse my language. And then they took my wife.
This man who wished not to be identified says his wife is from Venezuela and has lived in the United States for a few years. She was one of 3 people taken from this home. I'm told the 2 others were men who worked in construction. You see them here. This video, only a minute and 52 seconds long, we do not see his wife being removed from the home. But this is a picture of her that he keeps in his wallet. Her name is Vianis Ramirez, and he says she was in the process of becoming a United States citizen.
She already had a court date. She was good. Everything's good. He just came in and snatched her.
These are pictures from the Department of Homeland.
Pendejo, that's what you fucking thought. That's what you thought, dog. What'd you say?
I don't want to be mean, right? I don't want to be mean. I think that this is sad what's happening to this dude.
Yeah.
But it makes sense that he's a Trump supporter, a Latino for Trump. He's an idiot. He's stupid. And I'm not saying that as in, oh, he's stupid because he was voting for Trump or whatever. I'm saying he's stupid because he's on national television with his face not blanked out, using his real voice, and then giving out his last name. But in the first 2 seconds of the clip, it was like, he doesn't want to be identified. What? What? That's a lot of
Good
information
catch.
for someone who
catch.
doesn't want to be identified, dog. You're dumb. So you're an idiot, is what you're telling me. Yeah.
Good
All right,
catch.
continue.
Men and women in Broward County.
It's despicable what they're doing right now. It's very embarrassing.
Yeah, my parents had to go through a bunch of stuff too, like, and it took them until I was 17 years old for them to get
Wow.
their papers.
Wow. And so,
So.
would you be so I don't even know if I want to say this because I don't want you getting targeted, but
It's fine.
like
Fuck
so
them.
you would be a birthright citizen, you would be a recipient of birthright citizenship, or
Well,
did you go out and do your own?
the legality, I'm sure there's different legality to it because my parents came here as political refugees. So
Yes.
their staying in the country was something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So they were given the benefit of like they're here because of communism or whatever the fuck, and so they didn't get like special treatment, but they didn't get kicked out.
Yeah.
Because they were here like as asylum, kind of like whatever.
Yeah, they received an asylum
because they weren't Cuban, so like Cuban people actually had specific programs for Cuban refugees that other Latin people didn't. Like
they got real. They still get special treatment, don't they?
yeah. So I don't know about still, but but the whole thing now is that the Cuban community has been here for such a long time and been so old that there's an infrastructure that exists for people that it makes their transition easier, right? There's legal things. There's the help that's there, like the resources and stuff. So for me, I think there's some legal precedent to say like, well, my parents weren't here. Sure, they were here like illegally in terms of their status at the time, but they were given a social security card like right when. So there were things that you're given to become I guess a member. It's just that the fucking process is long.
Yeah,
the process takes
but they
fucking forever.
They did give them like kind of a leg up or a step in the right, so that they had a social security card, so they can come here, they could start working, and then they could start earning money, and then they could start the process of legally becoming citizens. So it wasn't like they came here and then it was like, all right, well, you're kind of screwed because you don't have a social security number, you don't have the right paperwork.
Right. Yeah. So they definitely so they definitely were in a better position than most people that don't have any of those things. Like you're just a ghost. You're just like living off of like the goodwill of whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? It's difficult.
The goodwill and the exploitative nature of people who will pay you under the table pennies to
what's crazy. Yeah. So what's crazy too is that like even though my parents were here, like as like asylum and political refugees in the sense, they still weren't legal like citizens. So you don't get legal citizen benefits. So you don't get compensation. You don't get healthcare. You don't get these things that are given to you.
Wow,
as a citizen.
really? So even
like,
if they got a job, even if they went out and got a job, they wouldn't be offered like healthcare or anything like that.
I don't know. I don't know how that worked, but no, I don't think so. And then
wow,
I know. The one of the things that I remember as a kid being very like how unfair that felt was that my dad and my mom, like they pay taxes every year. They have to do a tax return every year, right?
Wow.
But they didn't get any money back.
Okay,
so you have to do your tax. You have to do your taxes, but you can't benefit from your taxes.
From
like
your
it's
taxes.
like right. So that's what a lot of immigrants go through. Like, and mind you, my parents were in a different position. So like, it's crazy that they had to go through that. But now imagine someone who is working, right? So maybe sure the money's under the table, but they're still paying taxes on the food that they buy. Whatever the case may be, they're not like tax free. They're still paying taxes, right?
They're just not paying directly into the tax system,
and they're not getting anything out of it. You can't get anything out of it. It's not this idea that people think that like like the burden of an immigrant, that kind of mentality where they're sucking all our that's it's like
so
an impossibility.
Yes. Yeah.
It's an impossibility. It's not a even It's unfathomable because you don't exist. So you
Yeah.
can't get
You
any.
can't.
You're not gonna go to the fucking unemployment line or whatever and be like, hey, I'm so and so, I have I need some health care, please. I need like what I need some food. You don't
My
get
kid is
shit.
sick or whatever.
You don't
Yeah.
get shit. You don't get a
Wow.
fucking thing because you can't. And
Yeah.
because if you try to, you'll get in trouble and you'll get deported,
You'll get
which
sent
is
back.
what you don't want to do. So this
Yeah.
whole idea of like immigrants, taking our jobs, taking our health, our social security, like that shit is it's not a thing. It's
That's
not a thing.
crazy. So what you're saying is that illegal immigrants actually do more to help our economic
100%.
than they do to like detract from our
Yes.
economics.
Because
That's kind of crazy.
you
bro.
have a group of people in the
Who
in the
earn money
millions,
and
in the
can
millions.
spend it,
Yeah.
but can't get the government subsidies for living that the rest of
No.
us get.
So you're
That's
getting
insane.
money
I never
from a
thought of it
whole
that way.
group.
Wow.
Yeah. You're getting money from a whole group of people that can't take it out.
Yeah, that cannot pull it out, right? Oh wow, that's crazy. And then so I mean, the way it sounds
Mhm.
is people should be more for immigration. Well, bring them in, let them.
Look, the morality of all that shit is very murky because
It
you're
is, yeah.
using people, paying them under the table because you can, because they don't
yeah.
have any legal recourse.
Yes.
Okay, they can't go to a lawyer. I mean, they
Nope.
could, I guess, and be anonymous, but that takes money that they don't have. Like, you just are limited in like what you can do because you can't. There's so much shit you just can't do. You're just existing. You're just
Yeah.
existing.
Wow.
And so you can't do these things. So like the cost benefit is amazing for these companies because they don't pay shit
Mm-hmm.
and they get everything. You know what I mean? I'm not
They
paying
get their
fucking
labor.
healthcare. I'm not
Yep.
fucking paying your social security. I'm not paying into whatever 401k. I'm not doing shit. I'm not doing
Nothing.
anything.
Nope.
So
Wow.
and you working for me, you're making pennies on the dollar. I'm fucking raking in the money, and so profits are up, baby. And like all of
Yeah.
a sudden, but here's the funny thing, right? Now all this shit that's been going on, this illegal deportation, all this kind of shit that's going on, all of a sudden that workforce is fucked and it's out of here. The
Yeah, they stop
price of
showing up.
shit,
People stop
the
showing up.
price of shit,
Yep.
in
Yep.
give it a month or two. The
Oh
price
yeah.
of shit is gonna get so ridiculous, and people are gonna just blame Obama for it. So
Yeah, they
like,
are. Well,
easy
Trump's gonna
peasy,
do it, and then his people are
lemon
gonna listen.
squeezy.
Yeah. No lemon squeezy, because ain't nobody picking lemons no more. Ain't nobody
No.
out here fucking look. And I hate that. I do hate that narrative. I'm not gonna sit here and like there's that narrative that immigrants are taking our jobs, right? Oh, the immigrants are taking our jobs. The immigrants are taking our jobs. And yeah, but then are you gonna go out and pick
No.
lemons, and are you gonna go work the
for
fields and pick
$1 an hour?
apples
No.
for $1 an
Yeah.
hour? No, right? You're not gonna
Yeah.
do that. So when these people stop showing up, like you said, those jobs become vacant. What's gonna happen? I think I know what's gonna happen. I think the reason why they're trying to force people out of their jobs. I think the reason why they're going after this DEI thing, code for black and brown, code for the other, code for different, right? I think that these all are being put in place so that we become the workforce that has to go out there and start picking again. Again. Notice I said again. I think there is a plan in place to recoup or refill that vacancy that they're currently creating. I think that vacancy has our names written on it, and I think that's the plan. Honestly, I think the plan is to strip away DEI protection, strip away affirmative action, strip it away to the point where you can hire whoever you want, quote unquote, which will be straight white people. You can hire all of them, and you can tell the blacks to get out. You can tell the Latinos to get out. You can tell the Asians to get out. You can tell, well, not all Asians, just the brown ones. You can tell these people to fuck off. And now you're at home, you're struggling, you can't make ends meet, you can't work, nobody will hire you. What do you do? You go get a job working construction under the table for pennies on a dollar. You go get a job down at the farm shoveling shit and picking grapes.
Yeah. Yeah, to make
That's
it.
just my that's just my 2 cents. That's
Well,
just
we'll
what
see. We'll see how
what I think the
the
plan is.
appetite of we'll see the appetite of Americans and how much they can
I'd rather die, bro. I'd rather die, and if I got to take a few with me, I'm doing it. I'm not playing. I'd rather
Look.
die, bro. You're not putting me back in no field. I know. Nah, dog. Nah.
Look, here's the thing. If ICE agents arrest your family, I want to give you actually some helpful tips that you can actually do. In all
That's cool.
seriousness, so the first thing that you do is like track your family. Like if they
Okay.
get taken away, you get provided a number, and you can keep track of them, where they're going, where they're at, where they're being held, so they don't get lost in the shuffle. It's fairly important.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then the next thing that you do is that you can get a lawyer. Now the problem is like people get scared because they think it's like I mean, it can be really obviously expensive, but there are free services and really low cost options. So that it is a thing you just have to like do research, and there's a lot of options out there. So just kind of Google that.
Can we put some of these links in the description of this
Yeah,
video?
I'll put this. Yeah,
That's cool.
I'll put this
Yeah.
all up.
Yeah.
And then obviously just keeping in contact with your family member who's gone. Just make sure that you're understanding what they're doing, what's going on with them. Get document things, whatever the case may be. Because once they're put in the system, 9 times out of 10, they're halfway out the door. So it's like they probably will get deported. And so whatever, you're getting like plucked out of your life, and there's a lot of loose ends. Like you have whatever rent you're paying, whatever job you had, whatever. There's a lot of stuff that needs.
Your spouse is still at home. Don't know where
your kids.
Why aren't you
your
coming
kids
home? You got kids in school. You got that need to be picked up.
That happens.
Like, that's absolutely
that
crazy.
that literally happens. That we're, you said say hi to you said last thing you said to your parents was like good morning, whatever. And then by the time you get back home, they're gone. And like and it happens. There's kids sometimes that get both parents get taken away. So
that's crazy. That's
crazy.
It's
pretty heartless, this kind of shit that's going on. But
that's a good way.
Latinos wanted
really
this,
heartless, bro.
Latinos wanted this shit. So we'll see how that what that becomes later on, and like how that
not just for them, but for you too. That's what sucks, bro. And for all of us, right? Because I saw here's the thing. I see these things, and I see these like the guy that you just showed me, and then like the lady that was crying that was talking about like she voted for Trump, but why is he doing this? Like you see these stuff, and your first inclination is to laugh, right? Haha, you voted for this. This is what you want. Especially I know in my community, and I'm talking directly to the Black community now, right? Like I've seen it. Haha, you stupid Latinos, you voted for this. And it's like, nah, bro. Like honestly, because when I saw there was a Haitian man that was just deported, right? Like it's not just Latinos, and I understand that you wanna mock and you wanna point and make fun to make yourself feel better. But bro, they're coming after us too. They're not just gonna stop at Latinos. They're coming after us as well. So our job as people who've been disenfranchised in this country and has been the butt of the joke, has had the boots on our neck for as long as it has been, our job is to reach our hands out to our brothers and be like, our brown brother, our Latino brothers, and be like, nah, let me show you how to get through this. We've been here. We've been here before. We've been, and I know Latinos have had their own struggles in this country, right? But when it comes to police brutality, when it comes to just historically getting the shaft in this country, Black people have bear the brunt of it. And so to sit back and laugh because haha, you voted for this, you're getting yours, you're gonna learn what it's like. It's like, nah, bro, like that shouldn't be the case, because it's not gonna stop there. It is not gonna stop there. Your Black ass is on the list. I promise. So it's a time for solidarity.